Okay, so I don't have much on for today. Just a few emails to go through. But what I will explain, and we'll go through. Um, I'll go through the Aussie Kiwi 4 hour and shit, 15 pips, about five, I'd say. Um, I'll go through that absolutely. I'll go through this one. I'll go through them all. I'm going to go through all of these pairs now. Nothing wrong with the music, Jess. What you're seeing on the screen is everything that we will be able to trade. If you go show all, shows everything that you'll be able to trade with Capital Index. Obviously, I don't want you trading the metals at this stage, but you'll notice that that's quite different to AxiTrade. There's not as many pairs. They've got some random ones like the Hungarian, um, but there's quite a lot that you can't trade, especially in the Scandinavians. This list will develop further as we get further into the year, but at this stage that's what we're looking at, which is the majors and some currency crosses. Okay, so be prepared for that. As I've mentioned before, we will be looking at I will be giving you your demo versions of this capital index with all its profiles of all its skins of Learn Forex and stock indices, the partner program. I will be giving those to you a month before we go live, so you will have an understanding of it before you're actually trading live. Okay, so let me just go to the emails first. I totally agree with the Muppet View. I didn't read that. Well, thank you. Yeah. Was stopped out of the Kiwi CAD despite fundamentals. And I'm long dollar Sing. Well, dollar Sing I can't help you with on this. We're not trading on dollar Sing on this. But the Kiwi CAD you got stopped out of. Did you give me a chart on that before? No, just your dollar knock, which again I can't trade. But Kiwi CAD you got stopped out of. I'd say it's this. You're looking to go short on that one. If my memory serves me, I think this was just a soft horizontal. I couldn't find a strong one to be trading against. Anyway, yeah, you got stopped out, so that's a little unfortunate. Looking at it now, I still can't see a strong horizontal that you'd want to be trading from. Unless you're looking at that now. 92.80 would be something, but we're above that. Yeah, it's not something that I'd want to get involved in. A bit of a battle between price of milk and the price of oil. Who's the weaker? Yeah, so I'd stay away from that personally. Okay. Someone mentioned dollar CAD. Managed to capture that move. Well, that's fabulous. Made you 2% in 2 days. Not sure exactly where you would have got in unless you were trading the 4 hour. And off there somewhere. There's no sort of setup on the daily that I would advise or participate in. But that doesn't mean you can't trade the 4 hour. I have a question from Nirov on stop losses. Mate, you're not online, so I hope you do watch it. Explain this exit strategy. Break even. Okay, you're reading from the manual. Break even after first profitable close and scaling out after 50% on the first profitable close. First profitable close means immediate third bar if it is in profit. Can we use this exit strategy in a 1 hour chart? And have you ever used this strategy in your trading? You could use it in a 1 hour chart, nothing wrong with doing that. And have I ever used that strategy? No. No, I have not. 1 hour chart. Please ignore this. I was just wanting to. This is a demo account. I was just stuffing around, buying it at 80 cents. But this is a 1 hour chart. So the first profitable close, being this one, is moving your stop to break even. Is that something that I would employ? Not really. It's not something that I look at. It's not a style or a method that I do. It doesn't mean it's wrong or that you can't do it. It's just not something that I would do. So yes, you can do it. It's effective. You can do it on a 1 hour. You can do it on a daily, but it's not something I would do. Okay, dollar Sing monthly was planning shorting the dollar Sing. Really? It's a monthly chart. Yeah, if there's selling coming into the marketplace, and there may be. Remember FOMC's next week. So I'm not sure if you're wanting to play with them. Certainly got some divergence there, don't we? Even in both RSI, I would presume there'd be divergence there, but what we're not seeing is the sellers. There's no setup you mentioned. Okay, bearish price action, not yet. But yeah, there's once we do get that, there certainly is potential. I mean, the US dollar has had a major run, which is pretty much this. So yeah, there's got to be a retracement of some sort. But will you be trading that? It'll be pretty risky. The US dollar story is not yet finished. There will be a pullback of some description, as the market doesn't always go in one direction. But how much that is going to pull back, we can't tell. But yeah, the US dollar story is far from finished, and now that the ECB is finally out, there's the divergence in the central banks is the big issue, and that's where the money's flowing. It certainly won't be flowing into the European zone at this rate. It'll be flowing out of them. Perhaps some stocks and some companies might find some funding, given that the ECB is going to take the debt off their books, so they might be able to go out and get some funding and grow. But investors will be looking for yield and return, and they'll be getting that out of the US, not out of Europe or Asia. So that's where the money's flowing, is the US, and so the US dollar story is not yet finished. Yes, this is a good setup. Certainly the monthly and the daily is showing you that once you get it in the price action, which you haven't got yet. Okay. Also, going back to capital index and the fact that you cannot trade it with capital index. When I do give you your accounts, your live accounts, I will be closing your Axie accounts on the 31st of March at this stage. Still haven't got confirmation of that. But I will be closing your Axie accounts, which means you need to close your trades by the 31st of March. So if you are going to take a trade, especially with that kind of looking on a monthly chart and trading that time frame, you need to take that into account, that your trade may not be has a limited time span. Right, coming to Dallas's email, was looking at the Euro Kiwi and then didn't get in. To me, all you're looking at is this the trend line here is what I see. I don't see any horizontal worth looking at. I don't see any you just done that bar basically in terms of Fibonacci, and you're at the end of phase 2. So are you trying to trade this against it going long, or are you trying to go short? let me read your email first. I might tell me. I think I have Class A bullish reversal divergence and bearish hidden divergence at the same time. Yeah, you do. In terms of using your MACD. Now remember, when you're using your MACD, that the reversal divergence, you're using these histogram lines, okay? And there is no divergence there. You're not using your signal line with your MACD. Okay, you use your signal lines such as you have for hidden divergence, but not for reversal divergence. And the reason for that is that with your hidden divergence, you're looking at cycle to cycle. So from this high to this high to this high. Whereas with reversal divergence, you're not necessarily looking at the cycle, you're looking at the end of the move. And so therefore you're looking at the histogram. You want to see that turning in the market, which you're not seeing there. Okay, let me just go back to that Sing one, that Sing dollar, because I don't have MACD on mine. I don't. But we're seeing divergence there in RSI from this low to this low. Yeah. Or is that RSI? Is that what you've got on there, an RSI? Yeah, that's RSI. Okay. Right. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. You're looking at the RSI, this blue line. Sorry, I thought that was your signal line. Okay. So yeah, you kind of do have both. Your fibs show what, 61 and 78. EMA's fanned and downtrend. Trend line seems to be shaping up. Just waiting for more sellers in the market. Okay. Doesn't seem to have any strong resistance that is bouncing off. That's good. It isn't. I've been staying away from the euro so far, and the Kiwi isn't a favourite either. However, technically this seems to be shaping up for a trade tomorrow if the sellers come into the market. Am I wrong or missing something? Well, firstly, if you're cycling along that trend line, then your fib should be up here. If that's your argument, right? If that's your argument, then I don't have a problem with that. Goes a little Aussie. I don't have a problem with you saying that this is, it's cycling along this trend line that you've identified. You got 1, 2, yep, and you were looking at it in here somewhere, and saying, well then, if that's the case, you go from that high. You've gone from the high of this bar. So we look at it like that and say, well, yeah, the 61.8 it closed on. However, I don't think that's a very strong trend line. I'd be looking at this as just, this is your full cycle. So this is from this point here, that's your phase 1. Yep. Now it's come back to this level here. Is that a strong level? Well, one of the easiest ways to do is put your price on it, or put your line on it, and go and see if it's turned on that. Is there a strong resistance or support level there? Well, yes. So now there might be something. If we get a seller bar here, you can have a huge stop of some 500 pips. But if we get selling in this now, there might be something. Yeah. Okay. So you haven't missed something. I just think you're looking at it a little too closely, rather than standing back and going, well, hang on a minute, isn't that the cycle? Yeah. Okay. Just another couple of charts we've got here from, this is a while back, the dollar knock. Don't think it's gone very far, the dollar knock. It's just going sideways. Oil prices sort of found a bit of a floor at the moment. Interesting that you've gone from that level there. I think this is trying to push a trade because you had so much fun on all the way up. You're still trying to have some fun, but it's, if you look at what we've got here, is I think a bit of a rollover in the market. It's borderline, but It's not something, again, not something I'd be looking at. Okay. Right. And then to Aussie dollar daily. Horizontal resistance, yes, fibs. Could not find a point to place fibs. Well, Aussie dollar, as I said, ignore this. This is just me stuffing around with the test account or demo account. 82, I don't know if that is a horizontal of any significance. Oh yeah, you could look at that. But I think it's 80 is the big one, 82 not so much. However, the question was where you draw your fib from. The most obvious place to me would be that there. And you're not really getting much of a resistance. Another one you could look at is this low here was breached across here, so you go from that there, and again it doesn't give you much of a fib. You don't need a fib, but you do need a horizontal level of sorts, and I don't really see one there. Obviously the news, first the Canadians, then the Europeans, has assisted you in this trade. But in terms of, that's a bit hindsight looking at it. Yes, you've got an inside bar with Doji totally uncommitted, another one effectively totally uncommitted. Then we get this seller bar. You could argue saying, well, now I'm seeing selling in the marketplace, I will go. Why you've got your stop there, I don't understand. Probably just so you can get a decent risk reward. Well, again, why do I keep coming back to that one? You don't get an opportunity in the 4 hour either. I don't know why your stop is there. It's not a place I'd have a stop, but I understand your reasoning behind it. Unless you're using an ATR style stop, yeah. I had a couple of trades stop me out. I will send them through. I've been staying away from the 1 hour and 4 hour until I get back some capital. At the same time, I've been really sticking to the rules. Good, and a few great trades. I spotted we only took on our small personal account. I didn't place them on prop because I couldn't tick off enough on your list. They went well. Could have used that to lift me back up on my prop account. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with what you've done. In hindsight, you would have made money on this trade. I'm just curious as to what your risk-reward ratio and the concept of putting a stop there for. And the horizontal, I don't think was all that strong. It was sort of, the market was, I keep going back to that, I should just take it off. We can sort of see a level around here of 82.50. It's a bit of a soft one. It's more because it's 82.50 being a half round number than anything else. But it's an extremely soft horizontal, so it is a valid one, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So Aussie Kiwi and CAD Yen. Right, yeah, we'll go and have a look at both of them. We've kind of looked at that. That can go away. We've looked at that. That can go away. Aussie Kiwi. 4 hour. Look, I took the 4 hour trade in here, and on my other account, having seen that cycle above the 50 EMA, entered the market in here. I got out yesterday, or not long ago. Where's my arrows here? I got into the trade there, and exited the trade here. Why did I get out there? Well, it was overdone, and I moved my stop under the reversal bar once it was overdone. There are a lot of reversal bars in here. Granted, my stop was underneath this level. My stop was down here. Remember, you get reversal bars. Doesn't mean you have to move your stop. It's just a reason for you to do so. I believed in the trade and wanted it to go. And after this bar here, I moved my stop to break even. I only moved my stop twice, once to break even, and then to here when I got out of the trade. And I've been waiting for it to retrace back to this level here, or similar. We can see those highs, lows there. This support resistance line here for me to get back into the trade. I woke up this morning and saw it had made a higher high, and I thought, shit, I've missed it. But patience, and if we do our fibs, somewhere in there, or the 302, funny how that does it, would be an ideal spot to get long. And it's just a matter of being patient and waiting for that to come back. A new phase 1 short on the Aussie Kiwi? Well, no. It's not something I'm looking at. I'm still in the trade on the fund, and I'm looking at 109, sort of 110 as a target, these lows here, for the fund that I run. Some would argue there's a mini head and shoulder pattern here, inverse head and shoulder. The daily certain overdone. There's a high test bar there, granted. Maybe I'm blind to the fact that I've been trying to buy this for a long time, and expect this to be back up at around $1.20, in this area here. Certainly see this huge support level down here that the market's come off, and this is why I'm buying it. 106, 104, even 105 area. This is going back into the early 90s. Back into the early 90s. Every time it's down here, it rallies, and that's why I'm long it and want to be long it. However, technically, what you're looking at, there's nothing wrong with it. I suppose there is a high test bar. There is some more selling in it today. You've got the these lows have become what was support is now resistance. That's granted. Momentum's certainly up high, and you'd expect that to pull back a bit, and you could potentially make money on that. I suspect this is going higher. The Kiwis had a shocking. This day here was they had the dairy numbers came out, which was very disappointing for them, and finally broke out. Well, not broke out of the range, but tested the bottom of that range. Then the Canadian rate cut pushed them through it, and then the Europeans. This will obviously bounce a bit, but so will the Aussie. The Aussie should head back. 80 cents, as we all know, is a huge support level. If we look at that, there's 79.40, and there's this one here, the all-time low to all-time high. We get that cluster in there. Plus there's all these previous highs and lows here. Big support here, and you'd expect the Aussie to rally from here. And the US dollar also should have a bit of weakness. So maybe the Aussie won't rally as far, and the Kiwi will, and therefore the Aussie Kiwi will fall. Technically, there's nothing wrong with this. Fundamentally, I disagree with the trade, but technically, nothing wrong with it. And you could be looking at your Fibonacci levels, not so much from there, but let's just start with that one there. That's your 382. If we look at that one there, the 50 comes in nicely, and even if we look at sort of this one here, the 786 comes even better. So there's certainly enough arguments there to take that short. I would not be looking to make new lows here. I would be, if this is a phase 1 short, I'd be certainly setting targets on it. Getting a risk, and a target would be literally 2 times what my risk is, something like that. You know, you've now got a ring high. You're looking at about 100 pips, so look for about 200 pips out of it. It would be fair enough. You wait for this bar to close, obviously, and if it's still a valid signal, then look to place your order tomorrow morning. Yep, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that's the Aussie Kiwi. Pound Aussie. This one again has finally made a higher high and a cycle above the 50. Having looked at this on the daily, in here and getting stopped out. Thank you very much. Love that. Not went in long there and got stopped out over here. Still believe that this should outperform the Aussie. Still want to be long it. I'm risking what's that, 200 pips. Looking for I think about 550 pips, something like that. But it's the 4 hour, so again, only trading the phase 1 on this. Depending on how long the phase 1 is, will be trailing my stop to protect the capital and profit on that. But I've got a target there. I've got this now. It's broken. You know, we had this low and then we had a higher low in the last phase 1 down. Created quite a strong base there, rallied off that, made a higher high. So now we've got higher lows and higher highs. We've got this ring low formation here. I went in a little early above this bar here, but you could now be placing your stop, or sorry, your entry at 75.55, just above the high of this bar, and your stops there. So you're looking at about 200 pips. And you know, I've got a target up there near the previous highs. Okay, so that's the pound Aussie. Right, so Aussie dollar we've talked about. Euro dollar. Yeah. Despite its large move, there is divergence. I don't know if you guys read that article that I sent out. There's obviously clear discrepancies or clear issues with their quantitative easing. Yes, it's huge in terms of 50 billion euro a month, but there's some questions over how many months they're going to be doing it, and will it be effective? How is it actually going to be implemented? So even despite that huge bar from the ECB announcement, we've got divergence in our momentum indicator. So any sign of buying would be, to me, a potential opportunity, because I do think we need to see a retracement in the US dollar. Is this a horizontal worth knowing about? Not really. So potentially I would not be, well, I won't be trading that on a daily time frame. However, like the pound Aussie, if we get a cycle on the 4 hour in terms of making higher highs and higher lows, a bit of a trend going on the 4 hour, then I will participate and look for this to get back up into the 120 area. Similar to the pound, we're now getting divergence. Any sort of signal or buying sentiment coming in, I'll be participating in. This one, however, will have a strong horizontal, being 150, lovely round number, and we'll see plenty of times that this is, if I make it 150, that the market's turned on this, we can see that. Yeah, 148 is another one. If it does fail, I'll certainly be looking to buy at 148, such as we did back here last year, or 2 years ago now. Crikey, time flies. Yeah, so 148 is another strong horizontal. Certainly there's, we're overdone monthly, weekly, daily, and even divergence on daily, so I'll be looking for that back into the 155 area if we can get the bind coming into the market. Saw a trade call come out on this. Still don't like this. It's more of a what do they call that friggin' thing, you know, with the trend lines on it? Come on, Jess. What's this? Double bottom. You got a triangle. What do they call that? Rising triangle, ascending triangle, descending. That's a descending triangle. Yeah, the trade calls come out, and I don't like that because of these lower highs. However, the 4 hour hasn't done a real clear cycle above the EMA. You're still getting lower highs if this is 1, 2, getting lower highs, but you're also now getting higher lows. So there could be an argument for it to be made. I just think it's a pretty weak argument at this stage. Yeah, so I'm not a strong believer of that. You can find better trades. Obviously, lowering rates and falling oil prices has made the loonie not worth owning, and we can see that in the price there. Can you buy that and participate in it? No. Can you sell it? Not on my money. You just leave it alone for this time being until you can find an opportunity to participate and to have a go with it. Had you traded the 4 hour back here, you've done well, congratulations. Are you going to trade the 4 hour out here? Again, no way. Is there major resistance up here? Yeah, sure. Around $1.30. Still some time away. Right, Kiwi. It is out of that range. It is oversold. There's some support around 76.50. Sorry, 74.50. As we can see here. I think fair value for this is around 68, but that's just my personal opinion. Should be certainly trading around 70. Very messy, difficult to trade. Not going to participate in buying that or selling it. So that's all those ones. Let's go to the crosses. Aussie CAD. Old mate Alan Kohler had this chart up last night, saying it got to parity. If you want a holiday, go skiing in Canada. It's about the only place you'll afford to be able to do anything. Again, it's overdone. We're getting divergence. You now got a ring high. Is there any extension level? Well, there's your last significant down move. Yes, extension of 1.272. You could potentially trade that phase 2. I think it'll be a ballsy move, but technically there is the setup. Is there a strong horizontal? Well, yeah. Strong horizontal will probably parity or close to it. Certainly a few turning points there, isn't there? Around 99.70. Again, I think it's a pretty gutsy move, but technically it's fine. What are we going to do here? You move on. We're not going to let that settle down. Leave that alone. Aussie yen. You'd say that's mid phase 1. Little cycles going here. Mid phase 1 on the 4 hour. Probably also mid phase 1 on the 1 hour. So it's patience if you're wanting to trade that. To be honest with you, looking at the bigger picture, which you should always do, still trending up on the weekly, but I quite literally see that. Don't need that. Don't need that. I'm seeing more of a sort of resistance support zone here, almost range bound, especially this area across here. That's what I see on the daily, but looking at the weekly now, get off my screen, thank you. looking at the weekly now, it is more trending, is making higher highs and higher lows, and in that sense you'd want to be a buyer. But there's no buying opportunity there on the daily. Anything Swiss, you just want to leave alone for the time being, let it settle down. You could expect some sort of retracement, but let the market do that. Don't you sort of get involved. CAD yen, little oil buy. Okay, Karen, you wanted to talk about this. Similar to the Aussie yen, you're getting weekly is getting higher highs and higher lows. The horizontal, you want the daily to close back above that. The horizontal there, I don't see as being all that strong. Might have something to do with these. No. So I'd want it. Okay, 94.50. I'd say that yes, I'll use that. Price doesn't really quite get there. I wanted to either touch this or get above that to have an argument that it's closing above its strength. Certainly. That's incredible, isn't it? We're certainly in the zone, and we do have divergence. Look, if this ends up being a ring low, you could potentially go with that. I'd prefer it to wait until it closes above this, and so I'd be doing a minimum amount of exposure on that first trade, and then probably adding to it as it goes along. Certainly want oil price not to fall any further. If it does go through 40, then you're looking at 25 for oil, and that'll make the loonie even, maybe $1.30. The loonie looking at $1.30 pretty quickly. Yeah, potential, but I wouldn't be putting a lot of risk on it, especially trading. You're trading phase 2. Swiss yen again, let it just settle. Euro Aussie. You can't trade off that. Do you want to be a buyer or a seller? Well, you want to be a seller, but can you trade off this? No. Why do you want to be a seller? Because Europe's stuffed. Australia's not so bad. Someone mentioned this as a head and shoulder pattern the other day. Left shoulder, right shoulder. This is pointing in the right direction. We've obviously got to break it yet. Yeah. Prefer to be a seller, but there's just nothing there that I can see or warrant wanting to look at. This one, well, you've no central divergence on this one. They're both going in the same direction, and therefore you got price. Look where it again. Look at this. Yeah, it's just a mess. Let's just go. Powder blue. Sorry guys, I shouldn't be really stuffing around this on your time. But yeah, I don't see it going anywhere, and I've got no interest in trading that. Yes, Euro would be fun to trade, but against other pairs, and that, no interest in playing in that. Why won't you get off my screen? Thank you. No. Why would you buy Hungarian Florent? You wouldn't, would you? I don't even know why they've got this as a pair to trade. But you'd have to say that, if anything, the euro currency would be stronger than the Hungarian one. And so maybe, if there's a ring low there, there's something to look at. Momentum certainly down in the right area. Done a cycle above the EMA. Potential days to come. This is one worth looking at. If you're short, certainly be having your stop above that. We've got this divergence. Again, is there any horizontal strength? Is there any reason why the market should be buying here? No. In fact, you'd still want to be a seller of this. Love to be a seller of that. So just cannot get an opportunity at this stage. And I'd rather not trade the phase 2 on the euro. I certainly wouldn't want to be buying it. Unless it's maybe against the yen. What about the swap on the euro? I don't really worry about the swap, but it's certainly not something I get caught up in. If I want to trade, if the swap's going to cost me, I certainly expect I'm going to make more money out of the trade than I am about going to lose on the swap. It's certainly a strong horizontal there, and we have divergence. You got divergence from cycle to cycle. Not that I really look at that, but against this sentiment, you certainly have. Maybe there'll be a trade on Tuesday. I wonder if we'll know what the Greek elections are by Tuesday. Doubt it. Keep an eye on that one. I think that one's probably worthwhile. Euro Kiwi we've done, haven't we? Yep. Euro Turkish. Again, I can't bring myself to buy but against a weaker currency such as lira, never even traded this pair, but certainly might be looking at it against these in time to come, maybe not just yet. Pound Aussie were covered. Pound CAD. Wow. I do like the pound. I missed that one. Fuck, we're broken through that too. This is going to the moon. This one's going to $3. Maybe not 3, but you'd certainly expect this as your target. That there, around $2 would be a nice target. How to get in on it? Well, can't. But let me just show you something, guys. There is so many Fibonacci's on this thing. If we do the fib from there to there, you see how that resistance level and support level. If we do the fib from here to there, we've also got Fibonacci's coming in. Let me just go back to the daily. We can see why now. Oop, wrong way. Go the other way. We see that resistance. We can see, oh, there's another one actually. Let me go. Must be another one. This one here. Nope. Maybe it's that one. There was a Fibonacci somewhere that had came across here. I just can't find it now. Anyway, point being, there's good support resistance levels here. If we look at the daily, there's plenty of them. There was a fib that came in across here. However, this one I do like. If I can get to participate, I'd like to be able to participate. Now that it's sort of broken out of this range and made higher highs, we've got that sentiment. Come back in here and get a nice sort of ring low turn. Why would it come back there is the point. Will it? It may not. I'll leave that one on there as on my watch list. Pound Swiss, Euro pound, leave it alone. Pound yen. I do like the pound. Can I get in on this one too? It's just all a bit messy at the moment. It's a nut. But yeah, at some point. That's really very messy. But there is, it's sort of coming back to resistance, support, resistance area. Flirting with it. I don't see anything there worthwhile looking at though. So much volatility these last 2 weeks. And look at the size of the bars on all of these things. I mean, the pound cat isn't a good example. With all this friggin' central wankers, there's so much volatility. It's just hard to sort of get any decent normal marketplace. Kiwi cat we looked at. I'm not going to even bother looking at that. What's this one? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Cycling along the 200. If that's our cycle, the 618. And we've got... What's up, little mate? You could argue that there's a support level there. Maybe a trade for Monday. Maybe a trade for Monday. Hi Bob. You just joined us, mate. That one, if you're going to trade Kiwi, anything Kiwi than that one. Kiwi Sing. Preferred the other one. Kiwi Yen. Cover the CAD. This one, yeah, leave alone until it settles. Need a couple more days of selling, but there is divergence there. And the Hong Kong dollar, you just keep well alone. Right, so that's everything. Could you please tell me the client services email address of Capital Index? No, don't have it. Oh, actually, just email client services in Knowledge to Action in Sydney. They should have it. I do not. Sorry, mate. I know their website. That's about it. I know their website to be capitalindex.com.au. And maybe they'll have an email address on here. Come on, Telstra. Greg Secker, 100,000 promotion. Oh dear. There you go. Client services at capitalindex.com.au. Nice and easy. Alright guys, that's it for the week. In fact, that's it for the month. Public holiday Monday, and then I'll be in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday doing courses. So no more webinars this month. Next one will be, I think, the 3rd of Feb. Tuesday the 3rd of Feb will be the next webinar. So I shall talk to you then. But if you need me in the meantime, you can find me on email. Okay. I've got to reply to a couple of you guys who about stuff that's not really relevant in the webinars, but yeah. If you're in the offices next week, I'll see you then, Shane. You too, and otherwise, shit, there's a dirty big redback. Otherwise, I'll talk to you on the 3rd of Feb. You guys have a lovely Australia Day holiday, and trade safely and well. Cheers, guys.